100% Chelsea. Chelsea 2, Newcastle 1. Right. You had a lot to say so far tonight. But what did you think about tonight?
I thought it was a dreadful game. Do you know, I said it to my mate, we won, and that's all I can say really. I wouldn't say we won and it was convincing, or even at the end, you know, they had a chance to equalise the last corner of the game. We don't put games to bed. 5 minutes before we scored, we were absolutely brilliant. As soon as we scored, my mate said to me, you watch now, we'll go back in our shell, and we did. And, you know, I don't know where the Sarri ball is, I really don't. At the beginning of the season, I thought it was brilliant, quick football, balls move forward and backwards very quickly. Now it's just static, it's just so slow. Is
it a case of, well, maybe 1, fitness, 2, lack of squad depth, but 3 also because, you know, I understand it was quick at the beginning of the season, but it still takes time to develop as a system. You know, it took him 3 years at Napoli.
It probably does, but, you know, in the Premiership, I don't think you get this sort of time there. 3 years, he's asked for 2 years, but I don't think he'll get that time. I can see him going before then. I really can if this carries on.
If we improve though, for example, even if we even if we finish 5th, which is a possibility, but there's improvement on a points total, on goals scored, and all that type of stuff. I mean, surely, you know, that still warrants giving him another opportunity.
In my opinion, I think the whole back four, apart from Rudiger, I really think need replacing. I don't think the right back or the left back offer anything. Alonso is dreadful. I really do believe we should have brought in the kid from Juventus, Alexandro. This is what I said earlier. We're not at the top table anymore. You know, we could have bought him. He was available. The money needed to be paid. We wouldn't pay it. We're not at the top table anymore. Man City pay that money. Man United pay the money. We don't.
Is it that maybe down to the fact, so if you look at Man United, if you look at Liverpool and you look at City as the key examples, Liverpool obviously have now made the revenue now through FSG and developing as a club, and obviously they are a massive brand and they're bigger than Chelsea, there's no doubt about it. Manchester United, the same argument, you know, they're a massive brand, they have the money, they have the revenue, they're self-sufficient, and Manchester City obviously backed by a country. In terms of our self-sufficiency, we're in the right position. That's if you tell me you've listened.
Yeah, if you're sort of talking about self-funding, but I think Roman's put the chequebook away now. I think he's lost a little bit of interest in the club, which is quite worrying really. My own opinion, I love the guy. I think what he's done for us is unbelievable. But if he doesn't want to invest or he's lost interest in the club, then I think he should sell it really. And I mean, the guy who's looking at buying it's the richest man in Britain. So maybe he'd have a bit more hunger. I think we've lost our hunger. You know, as I said earlier, we're not buying the players that Man City or United are buying, or Liverpool. And in fact, as soon as we go in for them and they go in for them, they end up going to them. So we've lost our appeal as well.
What would you do differently then?
Well, definitely. I mean, we're trying to keep Hazard to stay. Would you stay if you were Hazard watching that tonight? Would you want to stay? Would you be in a rush to stay? I wouldn't be. We're actually forcing him out the door. We should be in for people like Griezmann and all that. Other clubs going for players like that. Why are we not in for them anymore?
We can't afford it.
You really believe that? This is what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is, if you look at the mentality, rightly said, Ryman, I don't think it's a lack of interest. I don't think it's a lack of ambition. I just think it's a fact that people at the top have no idea what they're doing.
But I thought once he pulled the plug on a stadium, which was going to be what, 800-900 million, 800 million was it?
Billion.
What, $1 billion for the stadium? Now he's pulled out there. So why doesn't he use some of that money to fund for players?
If you were in Roman's position and a country which has,
what he's doing. I think he's dead right. I think it's disgusting. I think it's disgusting how he's been treated, and even fans from other clubs say it as well. He's put an awful lot of money in his country, in taxes or whatever. I mean, you know, Hazard, whatever, 300 grand a week, 150 grand of that goes into the government's coffers. You know, and there's loads of players on that sort of money. So yeah, he's been treated badly. So I don't blame him for not spending money. But it's not really, you know, we shouldn't be penalised for that though, as fans, should we?
Nature of the beast, though, isn't it? It's a knockdown effect, and the fact remains that he's not going to be spending the money because of the situation. The money he is spending, if you're spending, irrespective of how good he is or not, the money he spent on Jorginho, the 70 million that we spent on Kepa, this is a lot of money that we are spending. You know, it shows that we are spending in the market.
I think Kepa was a panic though, wasn't it? If you look at the last transfer window, who did we get in? We got Jorginho.
It wasn't a panic.
Jorginho, well, if Courtois had stayed, we wouldn't have got Kepa, would we?
Kepa's been on a shortlist for about 3 years.
Has he? Well, I didn't know that, but if you look at the rest of the buyers, we got Rob Green. Yeah, I said Rob Green. But anyway, I'm glad he ain't holding that anyway, because he'd have dropped it. But we got Jorginho come, but that come as part of Sarri's deal. Sarri insisted that he came with him, so that was part of the deal. And Kokovic, we've got on loan. Apart from that, who have we got in? And we were dreadful last year. And we started off okay this season, but now we're back to the same position as we were last year. And we're going to struggle to be in the top 4 again this year.
So what players would you say, and if you think, don't think in terms of top level, think about how Chelsea operate now. Because this isn't FIFA, one of those things where you can go out and sign whoever you want, but it's kind of like, realistically, out of the options that are available, that are being touted, you were talking about Higuain and Wilson earlier. Obviously, Willian maybe going out, Malcolm coming in.
I would be concerned with Higuain as well. You know, I agree with you with the age and that, but we need someone to score goals. We need to get in that top 4 for a start. Even Rashford, yeah, Martial. You know, these were players we were looking at in the summer. You know, why didn't we get any of them? They were very vulnerable, United, at that time. We could have got anyone. You know, and we failed to get them, and that is worrying for me. That's what I'm saying about upstairs. There's a problem upstairs. I really do believe it. You know, Martial he wanted out, and we could have got him. We could have done some kind of deal with him. Rashford, as he says, these players are going nowhere now. They're happy at United again now. You know, we're just missing out on top players all the time. And as I say, I think it's very worrying. Like, you know, say we bought Giroud. He sat on Arsenal's bench. He's been sat on Arsenal's bench the last 2 or 3 years, you know, super sub.
He's scoring 15, 20 goals a season.
Well, maybe, yeah, but I mean, he sat on their bench. So when you buy a player like that and give him 250 grand a week, you'd like to see him on the pitch. Why have we bought a player off someone else's bench that, in my opinion, are far inferior to us as a club? You know, they don't spend money either. And he's come and sat on our bench. I mean, surely, what does that send back to Cobham, the academy? What would you feel as an academy player coming through, 21, 22 years old?
And we're decade. Like it's been the last decade, that. It's you know what, it's been since 1997. I wasn't even born when John Terry was coming through the system and he got into that pitch at Chelsea.
We've got the best academy in the world, bar none. We win everything, every year, and none of these kids are getting a chance. And I think it's disgusting. And we're going out and buying donkeys like Giroud. All right, Morata, you know, with hindsight, you know, hindsight's a great thing. At the time, he looked a good boy.
To counteract that point, though, saying we need that centre forward who's going to score us goals, get us top 4, and you're saying you wouldn't trust Callum Wilson, who's an English player but has played in the Premier League. Would you trust the youth product?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't say I wouldn't trust him. He just wouldn't be one I would. You know, he wouldn't be top of my list. That's all I was saying. I'm not saying, you know, he could come in. He could be he could be brilliant. You know, I'm not saying I wouldn't want him here. But I'm surely there's someone better out there than him. That's all I was saying, like an Icardi or Dybala or people like that. I mean, we won't get Dybala because he's at Juventus, but Icardi, they've just been knocked out of Champions League, you know. If we put the right money in, I'm sure we'll get him. But will we put the money up? This is what I'm saying.